Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is the first ever Fighting Chance Fantasy, as you see up in the top corner there, fantasy football, college football betting show. A lot of footballs there, got confused. This is the first one, and the first one, it's, whether it's big or small, it's always exciting to be a part of a first ever show like this. I am Kayvon Ezami. We got alongside my guy Dan Hickman here, who we'll bring in just a minute. And this is pretty simple here, all right? This is Fighting Chance Fantasy. We appreciate Fighting Chance Fantasy allowing us to have this platform to do this show. It will be a weekly college football show where we go through some of our favorite plays of the day. Me and Dan will do 3, 4, depending on the week, 3, 4 bets each that we really like. And we will have our final Fighting Chance Fantasy lock, each of us, at the end of the show, and that's going to be our favorite bet. It's best bet, but we're Fighting Chance Fantasy, so we're calling it a Fighting Chance Fantasy lock. We'll both have one of those. So before we get in a little bit further here, first let me bring in my guy, Dan. How are you doing today? And everyone, you can follow Dan on Twitter at DanH720. You can follow me on Twitter at Kayvon_sports. Dan, what's up, my man?
Doing great. Thanks for having me, and look forward to doing more of these. And yeah, I'm new to this, but been writing here on the site for a while about hockey. It's great to talk some college football. I've been around it for most of my life. So yeah, thank you for having me.
It's our job to keep you moving.
No doubt, man. And I know that you're a big hockey guy, which is actually how me and you kind of got connected, other than Fighting Chance Fantasy, because we won't go too deep into it, but we both have some North Carolina background here, Canes fans, NC State fans, so we connected pretty well, man, and ended up talking. We both ended up love hitting the numbers, love hitting the betting, and we thought, let's make something and try and pass this knowledge along, and maybe we can help some other people put some dough in their pockets, man. So like I said, we'll get right into the bets here in a quick second. Dan, do you want to quickly go through just how you've done so far this season? I know we're starting, what is this, week 6 now? Week 6. So we're starting a little late, but we wanted to kind of get it going, get the season going, let the trends pop around. So how have you done so far for the first couple weeks?
I'm admittedly running hot. It's been awesome. It's been a lot of fun. College football has been really good for me the first almost half of the season here. And like you said, we are getting some numbers coming in. So it is getting maybe even arguably the best part of the season here, with all the other sports hitting off at the same time. It's like the trifecta, or the apex of the vortex of all the different fantasy sports and sports betting for me personally. And I'm sure for a lot of you watching as well, I hope anyway, if you're watching this. So yeah, ready to go ahead and jump into it whenever you are.
Yeah, no doubt. And this is for, seasoned bettors that have been doing it for a long, long time, and the ones that are just getting started. We are going to go through it all. We're going to keep it simple here, and we're going to explain why we like our picks, what brings us to these picks, and, maybe what takes us off some games as well. We're going to have a lot of fun on this. So it's for everyone. If you like to have a little bit extra fun while you watch the game, put a lot of money down, put a little bit of money down. It doesn't matter. That's what we're here to cover it all. And hopefully at the end of the day, we will bring you guys some winning bets home. So let's get into it. Again, this is how the show is going to be. For this week, we both have 3 bets each. We have 3 bets each, and then at the end, that third bet is our favorite bet. It's my favorite bet, his favorite bet. We call it the Fighting Chance Fantasy Lock of the Week, and we'll get to that at the end, and we'll remind you what those are then. But, Dan, if you don't mind, man, start us off with the first bet on the college football Fighting Chance Fantasy betting show, man. What do you got?
Yeah, so my first one here, it's going to go kind of against the grain a little bit from the numbers that I'm seeing right now, to be honest. So I'm just going to go with it. It's going to be the Air Force. Right now, I think they're hitting at -5. It was at -6. I took this yesterday, actually. I've been watching this line all week. I think it started at like -2.5 when it opened. So I didn't really take it at the best number per se. And just by looking at it myself, I kind of project them to be winning this game by like a touchdown, maybe a score and a half, like a score and a field goal, like double digit. And I think most people in their models and everything else I'm seeing out there is different than that. But I am making a stand here. One of the main reasons for that, I'll just start it off with the history. They're playing Wyoming on Saturday. These two teams know each other really well. Didn't play each other last year due to COVID. However, since 2005, only 2 games decided by fewer than 6 points. So that's just actually 3 times in the last 15 meetings that has happened. So just an interesting tidbit there. Wyoming, they're 11th in the nation in turnover margin right now. But if you look at their opponents, they're 4-0 team coming in. They had a week off, so they're coming out of the bye week, which is one of the things I do like about them. If you're someone taking them, I understand. Just the record they have against the spread. Look, I mean, when this season started off, they were a team that I was like interested in a lot to play. But I'm just watched how they've kind of been, even though they've been getting by and winning some football games, they've been kind of barely been scraping by. Most notably last week against UConn, only 2 points. That is one of the worst. Maybe they beat UMass this weekend, by the way, but that's
that's the battle of the uglies, man. The battle
in the toilet bowl, right? Yeah. The notorious toilet bowl, which few of us sick people might have a few bucks on, right? But
yep.
I won't name names. Anyways, so we're looking at that. They barely. I don't like to just look at last week, but it's rather interesting that they barely got by that UConn team. They seem to be kind of on the good side of variance with like their turnovers. Air Force coming in has been playing better. They've been kind of trending upward overall. They're also, I have it here. Hang on one sec.
Yeah, you're good.
They're forcing more turnovers than any other team in the Mountain West, I believe, right now. And I did have the stat here for like the whole season. Oh yeah, here it is. Wait. Sorry, it's eluding me. But yeah, but basically you're looking at an Air Force team that is moving in the right direction. It's going to cause problems for Wyoming, in my opinion. They're going to be able to run the ball right down their throat. And I think take over this game, take over the flow of the game as well. Wyoming's kind of built to go of a slow dink and dunk style, and they're pretty mediocre at running the ball. They've been like really timely with like having these game-winning drives in the last minute or two of the game, so kind of like clutch in that sense. But in my opinion, it's not even going to be that close, and that's why I'm sticking with. I could have bought it back or something or cashed it out, but honestly, I'm just going to ride or die with the Air Force this week at -6. And if you can find that at -5, maybe if that number keeps ticking down, you can wait it before kickoff if you're not like me and actually be in better shape than I was on it. But that's going to be my first pick there. And we'll roll with it.
Yeah, no, awesome. So Air Force there, if you can get it at -5, you said -5.5, 6, depending on where it is. That's the one thing about this. Go ahead.
Yeah, anything under 7 I think is fine.
Yeah.
I don't think if it gets to 7, I might drop down to like a half a unit or something like that. But personally, I got one solid unit on it this week.
Awesome. Yeah. And look, that's the one thing about this show. We're going to do this show on Thursdays usually. So by then, a lot of the lines move. That's just how it is. A lot of you out there that have been betting for a while, that a lot of the value in these lines start on Sunday and Monday when they really come out. Now, that doesn't mean that there's not value out there. There's still a ton of value. And these games that we're giving you, we still believe that there's a lot of value here. But you just got to watch the line move. And that's something we're going to talk about as we go in this show. That's a very important part of betting. So that's his first pick over here. We're going to roll to my pick, and I'm going to a Pac-12 showdown. I'm going with 2 teams that, in my opinion, are disappointments, man. Look, I mean, especially for me, I didn't have high hopes coming into it with USC. I wasn't big on Slovis. Everyone was talking he's going to be a high draft pick. I wasn't high on USC. Who I was high on was Utah. And Utah has let me down. They have not looked good. And the reason why I was high on them is because they're a very physical team. They're opposite of what, usually in the Pac-12, you don't see a lot of SEC type of physical linemen there. Utah has some big boys up front, and that's why I like them. But we haven't seen them control games like we thought to. So what I'm going to play in this game is I'm going to play the over 52.5 is what it is right now between USC, Southern California, and Utah. This game is at USC, so it's in Southern California. Utah is coming off a bye, okay? So they've had a whole extra week to prepare for USC, and Utah does not like USC. They don't like them. They love beating up on them, and USC has been atrocious on defense the last two games. They allowed 37 points, they allowed 47 points to Oregon State 2 weeks ago, which Oregon State is a decent football team, but they are not what you would call a powerhouse by any means. And they allowed 45 points to them, and they allowed 42 points to Stanford. That's a lot of points. We're seeing teams that don't have that good of offenses score on this USC team. And when you look at the game, two teams that don't like each other, the last three meetings in the Coliseum, which is where this game is being played, the winner scored over 30 points. And I think both teams here go over 30 points. I think we see a 35-30 type of game, a 33-30 type of game. Utah is 4-1 to the over-under following a straight-up win, which is what they had before their bye. And the Utah Utes are also 7-3 over as a road underdog. USC is 10-1 over after allowing 20 points or less in their last game. They allowed Colorado to have only 14 points in their last game. So when you add all of that up, I just like the over in this game. Again, these two teams, the last couple times they played, they both have flew over the number, and I think this one's going to be a typical Pac-12 showdown. A lot of points coming, not much defense. 8 p.m. Saturday game. Give me the over 52.5 for the Pac-12 showdown of USC and Utah. Dan, let's pass it back to you here for your second pick of the night. What you got, man?
Yeah, sure. So I took this one yesterday as well. So I can just tell you all out there, I got 1.5 units myself on this one, just like I had the 1 unit on the Air Force. I got BYU.
Love that pick.
5.5. And you know what's funny?
Well, man.
You know what's so funny about this? This is a team that I actually I liked Utah a lot to start the season as well. And yep. I would say Utah was better than BYU, and then they play each other. It kind of changed everything, right? That game was a game changer. Mm-hmm. So Boise State is the opponent on Saturday. This game's going to be at BYU. It's already moved to -6, it looks like. So yeah, I recommend getting on that when you can, for the most part out there.
That game, if I am correct, because I'm with you, man. I bet that show earlier in the week. I think that started at -5, and what that means, real quick, not to cut you off, Dan, is we still like it at -6, but it's just showing that bet is in our favor in terms of line movement. Now, that doesn't always mean it's going to hit, but it means that clearly the people that can move the lines, the big, deep pocket guys and gals, they are clearly on BYU as well, which is always a good sign. Right, Dan?
Absolutely, yes. So I'm unlike my first pick, that's kind of a rare thing for me. I was going to say, that's one of the betting principles I kind of strive to always make sure I'm doing as best as I can on. And we'll talk some more in some future shows about things like closing line value. Look forward to getting into it with everybody. But for right now, I'm just going to jump right in with this game. One thing I want to share, in the last 14 games for BYU, they're actually 10-4 against the spread against Mountain West opponents. Boise State, I can't remember if this is out of the Mountain West for them, but they're 1-4 or something, just really rough in their last several meetings. They seem to be a real heavy team. I haven't looked at that, but from what I recall, they're more of a way better on home turf than they are on the Smurf turf there in Boise than they are away from it. They're also a team that I've been picking on this season. Their offensive coordinator left. It's not the same Boise State team like bettors out there that are kind of getting into this and you've been watching football a while, like this Boise State team is really not the same team they used to be. They're becoming more and more just a like a skeleton of what they used to be, or a corpse of what they used to be.
No doubt.
So it's a good team to pick on. On top of all that, BYU gets an extra day to rest and prepare for them because they played a day earlier last week. I think they were the Friday game. They're also 34th in total defense. This BYU team is going to shut them down, going to make life very, very tough for them. I don't think it's a game I'd like personally be interested in betting the over on. I think some people are. BYU could almost get you there on their own. But yeah, I mean, this is a really good spot. So I think it actually could be a blowout. I think 5.5 isn't really enough. So I'm probably going to like this number way up past that even. If you're someone that gets on, like, I'll interject here or I'll just kind of go into this a little bit. If you there's a site called PointsBet out there, and if you take a team on a spread and it goes way over, like if you take the -5.5 or whatever it is right now, but you PointsBet it, and let's say it goes to like 10, well, it's exponentially going to be a bigger hit. But also, if you lose that, it's going to be a bigger loss. So you have to set your limits there and be really careful if you're going to do that first. But I do recommend that matchup as one to do that on. And I might actually consider coming back myself with like a quarter unit or something and doing that. But I already got my 1.5 down on that one. And BYU it is.
Yeah.
My first time rolling with them this season. So let's go.
And that's funny too, because they've been a great team to roll with, man. I mean, they've actually burned me a couple times. I was against them when they played Arizona State a couple of weeks ago, and man, they have dominated the Pac-12. They beat in Utah, they beat in Arizona State.
They've beaten some good teams.
They've beaten some good teams. And the thing about this game that I love so much about it is, and we talked about this before coming on air, Coastal Carolina, a team that's playing right now, they fit in this same boat as well. These are teams that they're not going to make the playoff, but they have to go undefeated, and they have to do it in a very, very sexy fashion for them to even get a shot at a New Year's Six Bowl, or if they even want a chance to talk about the playoff. So every game to them is their Super Bowl. You hear a lot of like, oh, it's a letdown game, it's this and that. Not for these teams, because these teams have to perform, because one loss, dude, and I mean, one loss, they're out of the top 25. That's the margin of error there.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think a lot of people out there will say like, some people will probably pick on these teams too and like say, they don't deserve the AP ranking they have like right now. Like, so say like BYU or something like that. And that's a great point you bring up. One loss is going to kill them because so many of the people that vote in the AP poll are going to see that loss and be like, oh, well, I already had them at like 30 anyway, really, to me. So now they're going to be like out completely, like you just said.
Yeah, no doubt, man. I am all over that pick with you as well. I really like that one. We both talked about that before the show. So Dan there has BYU -6. You obviously get the best line you can get. This is, real quick, ladies and gentlemen, the college football betting show here with Fighting Chance Fantasy. Big thanks for Fighting Chance Fantasy for giving us this platform, and go follow everyone that does writing and shows and all that for Fighting Chance Fantasy. They do a tremendous job, so go check them out, and trust me, they will help you win your fantasy lineups. And I know you hear the fantasy in it, but we're bringing a new element to it, especially now that betting has become so big everywhere. So that's what this is all about. We've got Dan Hickman there. You can follow him on Twitter at DanH720. I'm Kayvon Ezami. You can follow me on Twitter at Kayvon_sports. For my second pick in the show, man, I am going with a team that, look, everyone's going to hear this and they're going to be like, oh my God, are you kidding me, Kayvon? I'm going with Colorado State. All right. And listen, I know that's the reaction. That's what I wanted to hear. That's what everyone hears, that they're a 1-3 team. By the way, they're playing San Jose State. Okay. So it's a battle of some teams here that aren't that great, but this is why I'm going with Colorado State here. All right. First of all, their QB, Nick Starkel, who a lot of you guys might know that name because he's played for Mississippi State. He's played for some bigger schools out there. Now he has a chance at San Jose State, and he's not playing. He's a no-go for this game. He is out. But even if he was in this game, I would still take Colorado State. Look, you look at Colorado State's record at 1-3, and you say that that's gross, right? But you have to look a little bit deeper when you want to bet games than just the record. You will lose all of your money if you bet just based off these teams' record. First of all, they have played Iowa. They have played Iowa better than any team in the country yet that has played Iowa. Like they went
against the spread.
Right? Yeah, man. Dude, they went into Iowa Stadium and they only lost 24-14. They lost by 10 points to Iowa, who is beating Maryland by 50 in Maryland Stadium. The head coach of Colorado State is Steve Adazio, who was the coach of Boston College for a while, and he did a pretty decent job there. He got replaced, and he has taken his hard-nosed defense to Colorado State, and I actually really like what he's doing. Look, they have played some tough teams. They played San Diego State, which is a pretty good football team. They only lost 29-17 there. They played Vanderbilt, which is not a good football team, and they should not have lost that game, but they lost 24-21. Then they went to Iowa, and they lost by 10. So I think that Colorado State is turning the corner here. The sharp bettors are clearly agreeing with me. I got this game at -1 earlier in the week. That game is that spread is now at -2.5. Okay, and I do think it's going to go to 3. So right now, I would tell everyone to take Colorado State at -2.5 because it will go to 3 before kickoff on Saturday. So if you like that pick, if you follow me on this pick, go with Colorado State. There's a momentum play here. They're much better than their record says, and I just don't believe in San Jose State. Nick Starkel or not, I don't think they're that good of a team. They almost lost to New Mexico State last week. New Mexico State threw the ball all over them. I'm not in for San Jose State. Give me Colorado State here. 3:30 game on Saturday, -2.5. If you can get -2, that's amazing, but definitely get it before it goes to -3. Dan, what do you have? Now, this is your fighting chance lock of the week. All right, so this is the big one here, man. Like we said, we've got 2 bets. Now, we'll mix it up each week, but we got 2 bets, and our third one is our best bet. And as we like to say, our fighting chance lock of the week. Dan, what do you got, my man?
Yeah, I've been betting this team since the start of the season. I don't know if I could say that, but I'll just say it that way. So, yeah. UTEP, baby.
Woo!
El Paso.
I just real quick. We were on them last week together, and that was money. It was a little sweat for a second there, but That was money, and it made me so happy when you sent over that you're betting them again.
Well, the encouraging thing that I'm seeing out of UTEP is they're figuring out some things defensively. It just seems like with their coaching and with the players, like I've been watching their games. I saw the game at Boise State. That was a tough game for them. Like I thought they could have – that was like the one time I backed them this year where it didn't work out. And that game, it really had a good chance to do so. Some of the other things, I mean, where to begin really with this one? I have a couple interesting things here. Like, basically their opponent this week, I mean, they should be favored by like 2 scores. I mean, I don't even see how they just continue to get shat on by everyone left and right. UTEP does. And I mean, in terms of the books, in terms of anyone who is valuing this, I mean, 2.5 doesn't even make sense. I was all over that. So this is a 1.5 to even 2 unit wager for me this week. Personally, these guys, they're 24th in like path success against a team that's like 80th defending it. They're 101st in completion percentage, which is like middle of the road. They're 24th in pass success rate against a team that's like 124th in completion percentage allowed. So like they're gonna be able to just like throw the ball all day on Southern Miss, and they're also gonna be able to run the ball all day on Southern Miss.
Yeah.
And then when Southern Miss has the ball, get this, it's a first-time college start, like freshman quarterback situation. I think the only thing, and I don't even know if I would call it a thing, that Southern Miss has going for them this weekend is the fact that this game is in their stadium and not in the Sun Bowl in UTEP. But if you watch a game at the Sun Bowl, it's also very sad to me that they don't fill that stadium up because, the way that team plays, they deserve to have like a stadium of people cheering for them. That was kind of sad to see last weekend, by the way. But
yeah, I agree.
My goodness, like this is the biggest discrepancy of the week. It opened at -1.5, and I took the 2.5. I saw it steaming already in that direction. Let me see. What else did I have? Those were the main things. Just that new quarterback starting who has no experience. I mean, Southern Miss is down to like their third running back. Gore Jr. just hasn't done anything. They can't run on anybody. And the UTEP defense, I forget the exact ranking nationally, but it's up there. I mean, I can circle back with it in a minute, but after you do yours. But I mean, it's gonna be like a brick wall for Southern Miss when they basically have the ball, and then when UTEP has it, it's gonna be like, oh, which stream to go downfield? It's downhill, down which river, to get there.
Yep.
I look forward to watching this one big time. This will be another fun weekend of backing the Minor Nation here, and I think a lot of people are on this train all over the place. Like I know other people that are all over these guys, but for sure it's something that I'm going to keep writing until the books catch up.
Mm-hmm. No doubt, man. I love that pick. Again, I love the Miners last week. That was a fun game to follow. So that's it. That's the Fighting Chance lock of the week right there from my man Dan. Good stuff. So turning it over here for what I will call my Fighting Chance lock of the week. And look, this is a fun matchup to me. Like I am very, very excited about this matchup. This is a Big 12 showdown where we have with West Virginia and Baylor. All right, now Baylor is now they're a 2.5-point favorite. They were a 3-point favorite before, right when the lines came up. It has now gone to 2.5. I am taking the dog here. I'm taking West Virginia. I got them at 3. Now they're down to 2.5, as I said. And I think West Virginia wins this game outright. Look, this is one of those occasions, love to call it, wrong team favorite. This is a wrong team favorite. Baylor is, look, and when I say this, Baylor fans out there, don't get mad at me because I like where you're going with your program. I love what your coach is doing. What he did as a defensive coordinator at LSU, it was great. He was a big part of that championship team. And now why we're seeing in LSU, you lose Joe Brady to the NFL, the offensive coordinator. You lose Dave Arianda to Baylor, who's the head coach there now. And Ed Orgeron is lost at LSU. And a big reason why is because he lost his defensive coordinator. And look, I love the way he's turning that program around. But the fact is that Baylor has played nobody this year. And the only team that they did beat was Iowa State, who has been a big disappointment. Look, I was one of those guys that liked Iowa State coming into the season as a possible Final Four team, possible playoff team. And they've been terrible. And they barely beat Iowa State at home by 2. Other than that, they beat Kansas. They only beat Texas Southern week 1 by 9 points. They lost to Oklahoma State by 10, who's a decent team. This team is more overrated than what their actual record is 4-1. And when you look at West Virginia has played some really tough teams. First of all, they lost 16-13 in Oklahoma. I know Oklahoma's been shaky lately, but to go into Oklahoma and hold them to 16 points and almost win that game is still very impressive. They beat Virginia Tech 27-21, which is an impressive win. And they lost week 1 to Maryland, who before last week, Maryland was undefeated and actually looked like a pretty good team until Iowa went in there and dismantled them. So all in all, when you just look at this game, West Virginia's fans are giving it to the coaches right now. They've lost 2 in a row to Texas Tech and to Oklahoma. They're a much better team to that. And I just don't think Baylor is the team we think they are just because of their record. They lost one last week, and I think we start to see a spiral. They lose a couple more. Give me West Virginia +3 but I'm taking them to win outright. Now, you can take the spread on the official bet on the show is going to be West Virginia +3, but you can do a little sprinkle on the money line there because I think they win this game outright. So that is it. One last time, did you have something to add?
I'm definitely with you on like West Virginia and pretty much all yours, by the way. I mean, I think that makes a lot of sense to me too.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on yours too. I like all of our plays this week. So one last time, go through, just lay out the plays from the first, second, third of what you got. I'll go through mine and then we'll wrap it up.
Yeah, sure. So you mean like my very best to my so?
Well, you just the first play you did, the first play you did, second play, and then end it once again with your lock of the week.
All right, so I had Air Force -5 right now. I took it -6. I got BYU -5.5. I think it's -6 right now.
Mm-hmm.
And Air Force is 1 unit. BYU is going to be 1.5 units. And then I got UTEP. It was -2.5 for me, but I don't even. Let me see. That one's sitting. I'll tell you guys where it is right now.
Yeah, good call.
It's still saying. It depends what book you're looking at. I'm seeing UTEP anywhere from -2 to -1.5, all the way up to.
That line is moving.
All the way to -2, -2, between -1 and -2.5 for UTEP right now, depending what book you're going to. So my point there is definitely shop your bet always. So
yeah, no doubt.
If you're in a state where you can, wink, wink. But yeah.
Me, unfortunately, freaking me, which sucks. But he's so right. And again, Dan said this earlier, and we're going to get one show. We will do a lot of the show on line value. And as we go and get accustomed to what we're doing, not like what we're doing with our bets, but just how we're going to go about this show, we'll do a lot of little like teaching moments here and there and just going through things. I know people are here for the picks. They want to know what we got. But as you go through it, it's always good just to kind of give a little insight on how we go about this. So this is it. This is the first Fighting Chance Fantasy College Football Betting Show. All right. I am Kayvon Ezami. We got my man over there, Dan Hickman. You can follow Dan on Twitter, DanH720. My plays are, as I said, we've got over 52.5 USC and Utah. All right. We've got Colorado State. It is now moving fast, so get on it. I got it at -1 earlier in the week. It's now -2.5. Again, I still like it up to -3. Just get that as soon as you can. And then for my lock of the week, I got West Virginia as the underdog +3 on the road in Baylor Bear country. So that wraps it up right there. Once again, follow Dan on Twitter, DanH720. I am Kayvon Ezami, Kayvon_sports. Dan, you got anything you want to say before we head on out?
No, just big thanks to everyone at Fighting Chance and yourself for having me on, and look forward to doing more. If you guys like shows like this, definitely hit the like button below us here and subscribe. Hit the doorbell so you know when not just us, but anyone on the staff is putting together a nice video for you. Do all kinds of great fantasy football content here, and good luck this weekend.
Yeah, no, good luck to you. Good luck to everyone. And just to echo what Dan said, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. You can go to fightingchancefantasy.com actually and see all of the articles, the podcast, the YouTube shows, everything. I know our guys, Kevin, Gary, and Britt all have a Sunday morning start and sit show where they go through injuries, who to start, who to sit. Go check that out. They will help you out with a bunch of things. And we'll be back here every week. I have my NFL betting show that I do Saturday morning, so tune into that.
I was going to say, if you guys are doing NFL, you gotta make sure you don't miss that. I check that out every week. Yeah, that's been good, man. We've been rolling really well. So hopefully we can just bring in the college football and we just keep the bets rolling here, man. All I know is we will be back next week. We will tell you how we did. You guys know our picks, so we'll be very transparent about it. And we're going to have some fun every week. So thank you for tuning in, and we will see you guys next Thursday for another round of the College Football Betting Show with Fighting Chance Fantasy.